It's a pleasure to have you here. The details now. The minority in Parliament has vowed to boycott the Electoral Commission when it appears in Parliament with its budget. Their warning follows the failure of the chairperson of the Commission, Jane Mensah, to meet the group and receive a petition it had brought seeking recollation of the Techiman South parliamentary results. Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu read out the petition to the press.
Any police officer, we are here. We have been ignored by the Electoral Commission. Thanks to God and thanks to the future of our democracy. Any senior police officer who feels obliged can come for the petition.
So I'm just saying simply, can they just get the leader?
Any police officer who wants to take the petition on behalf of the EC, since you allow me to go, come for it. You allow me to go and present my petition. Then take it and go and give it to her. Take it and go and give it to her.
Previously, the minority had insisted that they would only want to see a senior EC official to hand over their petition to them. After the back and forth right here in front of the premises of the EC, the minority leader is now asking that any police officer who is preventing them from getting in or feels obliged to want to take the petition can go ahead and take it. The minority leader is about to read the details of the petition right now.
I'm not presenting it to the media, I'm presenting it to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. That we, the NDC caucus in Parliament, we are in contention and we fully align ourselves to Excellency John Dramani Mahamad's enableness to concede defeat, together with the National Executive Committee of the NDC, on the outcome of the presidential elections. This is the first time we have had election results changed 6 times by an embarrassing chairperson. So next time she comes to do her correction, we too will not accept it. Now, those of you who are aware, there is a publication in the Washington Post in the United States of America which puts the election outcome at 51%. That is erroneous and misleading because that's arithmetically and statistically inaccurate, as she herself have corrected. We have received a stated petition from our parliamentary candidate, the winner of the Techiman South parliamentary election, Christopher Beer Basonti, on the happenings in Techiman South, that on the day of the elections, long after midnight, agents of the New Patriotic Party raised issues with 3 other polling stations before collation even could commence. The returning officer later announced a change of collation center from the community center to the Inferior Hall in Techiman. That at the said collation center, the parliamentary candidates, representative and agents agreed with the returning officer to resolve all the outstanding issues relating to the 5 polling stations that were raised by the returning officer and the agents of the New Patriotic Party. That during the discussion, there emerged serious differences between the agents as to how to resolve the outstanding issues. You note, as I have stated, when even the General Secretary went to Techiman and demanded certified copy of the results, statement of poll, we since up to this day do not, as a party, Christopher Beer as a candidate, have any results. Yet it's been added on unjustifiably and lawfully to the New Patriotic Party to rob us of our majority in Parliament. We are demanding that pursuant to Regulation 2, 3, and 43 of the Public Elections Regulation CI 127, all results of polling centers for Techiman South be certified, collated, aggregated, and declared, and whoever wins, let that person be the winner. But we will not accept the declaration that was done in the absence of our candidate, in the absence of our party, and in the absence of certified collation results of polling stations in Techiman South. In particular, pursuant to Regulation 43, the endorsed Read Gazette notification and notice of clerk to Parliament be amended accordingly to reflect the true state of affairs. So the media, this is a copy. We will boycott the Electoral Commission coming forward in Parliament.
That's all.
We will boycott her and her commission in Parliament. we will not be heard. She will never be heard by us.
God bless our home.
So that's the minority leader in Parliament, Haruna Idrisu, there, reading out details of the petition that they brought to the headquarters of the Electoral Commission, which they'd been trying repeatedly to get it handed over to officials of the Electoral Commission, but that ended up not happening. What that has meant is that Mr. Idrisu went ahead to read the petition, and after reading it, he's leaving the premises.
Pass to resist oppressors, rule with all our will and might forevermore. We are your MPs, so and help you to remember that you are to protect the state and not your political party.
So those are some of the conversations happening right here at the premises of the Electoral Commission. The minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, just went ahead to read the details of the petition. They were unable to present it to the officials of the Electoral Commission. He read the details of it and indicated, among others, that if the Electoral Commission refuses to hear them out, then they as well will boycott the Electoral Commission, even when they show up in Parliament to get any approval of a sort for their budget. Let's get some more reactions to the happenings here. As we speak, the minority leader is leading the team of minority MPs, even as they walk away from the premises after they were unable to present the petition. ABF Hussaini is the NDC MP for Sagnerugu. So have you eventually achieved what you wanted to get done, even as you try to present your petition? And what will be your next line of action?
Gakpo, the fact that you are even talking to me at the premises of the Electoral Commission shows that we have succeeded. We are here. I'm sure coming all the way. You saw what they tried to do to prevent us, even as MPs. But the collective strength that we showed, we managed to break through the barricade, and we are here. So I can tell you without any iota of doubt that what we sought to achieve, we have. And the good people of this country are seeing that every Ghanaian is united behind the Tifri Nana Akufo-Addo is trying to do with the Electoral Commission. The evil alliance between the MPP and the Electoral Commission to steal the verdict of the people. It's clear today that everybody is resisting that theft, and we're not allowed that to happen.
But as you rightly said, if you broke through a police barricade, which was stopping you from getting to this premises, yes, that is probably something that lawmakers who are the makers of the law shouldn't do.
This is an illegal barricade mounted. On what sense of the law did the police erect the barricade? Can you tell me? Under which law? Under which act?
They insist that they were here to protect public property,
and which public,
including the premises
has been destroyed. Which public property has been destroyed? So it's a funny thing. It's one of the oppressive tactics they use against innocent people of this country.
I want you to tell me your own experience with the security team that was here. At a point in time, we saw you.
I was in a scuffle with them, and I managed to break through and get out. That is why I just tell you that.
And this was one of the armed officers.
Yes.
Why would you do that as an MP, engage in a scuffle with an armed police officer?
We are prepared to lay our lives down for this democracy. We will not allow anybody to suppress us. I can tell you that if we have to die to defend this democracy, we will do it. We will not allow anybody to suppress us.
Wouldn't you rather use legitimate means to protest while you are protesting, rather than breaking through a police barricade and virtually engaging in a confrontation with
Article 1 of the Constitution of this Republic, which is the supreme law of the land. It says that it enjoins Ghanaians to have the bounden duty to rise up and defend our democracy. Go and look at Article 1, the sovereignty that invested in Ghanaians to defend our democracy. That is what we just did. We just did make sure that democracy, where they go and vote and they steal the votes for Nana Akufo-Addo, we will not allow that to happen. You are subverting the will of the people. You are subverting the democratic decision that the people took on December 7th.
My final clarification, just to be sure, are all the MPs safe? At a point in time, I spotted the Pusiga MP, Ladi Ayamba, fall to the ground in the course of the scuffle. There was that confrontation between the minority leader himself and one of the security guys who was repeatedly preventing him from going through. So I'm asking, is everybody safe?
It just gives you an evidence of what we are throwing against our people in an attempt to suppress their will, in an attempt to make this Tifri Nana Akufo-Addo is involved in. He is a beneficiary of theft and fraud. So theft is orchestrated. Nana Akufo-Addo is orchestrating fraud in this country. So we will not be allowed to enjoy that fruits of the fraud and the Tifri that the Electoral Commission so seeks to bestow on him. And we are saying that not even us as MPs, we are prepared to go the full mile to ensure that the rights and freedoms accorded Ghanaians are respected by all institutions, including the police. And I'm just sending a note to the police that, you see, they should be worried, because nobody is in power forever. The MPP will leave power tomorrow. and those of them who were seen at the forefront suppressing people. It will come against them.
Are you threatening the officials of the security agencies who will insist that they are just doing their job?
Anybody who is on notice to suppress the people, that he must watch his actions, because tomorrow you'll be caught to answer. And if you do that and you harm somebody unjustifiable, tomorrow you'll be caught to answer. And we are capturing them on this thing. And I'm telling you that anybody who is involved in that kind of thing must be mindful that you don't let a very reckless, greedy, corrupt regime like Nana Akufo-Addo's government come there and put you through this. We'll not allow that to happen.
That's the minority spokesperson on communication, who is also the NDC MP for Sagnerugu, ABA Fuseni there. The MPs are still around here, even as they exit the premises of the Electoral Commission. They still have concerns. They're interacting among themselves, raising these issues. I'm trying to get some of the MPs, including the Pusiga MP, Ladi Ayamba, who I did see fall to the ground at a point in time. But let me just try and get a lot more reactions to the developments that we're seeing unfolding. Let's speak to the MP for Agona, that's Queen Stapoki Asoya. Honorable, thanks very much for joining us. So yourself, your colleagues are right here marching. What exactly are you hoping to achieve? All of you, the women, have also stepped out as well in support of this people.
There is no democracy in Ghana anymore. The only thing we want to do is to present a petition to the EC boss. There's nothing that we are doing. We are members of parliament. We represent people. So what they want is what we will do. We just want to make sure that Techiman South is recounted or whatever it is, and to be sure that we lost or we won. I don't think it's too much to ask from the EC.
But this could have degenerated, couldn't it? Looking at the fact that the police had mounted a barricade, you put you guys
do that. We are members of parliament. Why did the police do that? And this is bad. It could have, it could have been bloody. You are right. You know,
and would they have been worth it? Would they have been worth it if it turned so?
Can't we, members of parliament, present a paper anymore to a public office? Can't we do that? I don't think we've been treated fairly. But you see, there should be democracy in Ghana. That is what we are practicing now. I think President Akufo-Addo should rethink this whole thing and know that if you are in minority, it is, you'd have to work. We cannot sit and fold our arms and say that Jane Mensah should do whatever she wants. That place has not been treated fairly. The candidate is even here. All members of parliament in minority are here. All what we are asking, we are presenting a petition. So that place is recounted. Is it too much to ask that we should be, heckled and we have to break through and stopped, and nobody received
as MPs, especially when the police had mounted a barricade, did you have to break through the barricade and still?
We had to, because we wanted to present a paper, and that paper should have been received.
So that was a while ago. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opukugakpo bringing us those reactions after the Minority Caucus in Parliament failed to present its petition to the Electoral Commissioner. Now, that's not the only place where a protest over the election results was held. Some sympathizers of the NDC in the Lower Manyakrobo constituency took to the streets to protest the election results. They were in their hundreds and were joined by some national and regional executives at Bong, where there was a procession from that point to the Odumase Krobo bus terminal. JoyNews' Kofi Siam joins us with more. Kofi, so just help us understand which national executives were present and what did they say? Hello, Kofi Siam. Yes.
Yes.
Kindly tell us which national executives were present at the protest in Manyakrobo.
National Youth Organizer of the NDC was present, George Parado, and he led the protest from the Pong Lorry Terminal to the Odumase Lorry Terminal. He was generally preaching right from where, except ending the protest. Some youth of the party tried burning lorry tires in the middle of the Odumase Krobo Road, but the police were called in, so there was a scuffle between these people and the police, but the police were able to successfully, stop them from burning these lorry tires. So if I should tell you about what transpired today, I must say that it was a very peaceful demonstration. They gathered at the station and the executives were able to speak to them. the National Youth Organizer, for instance, says that it is their legitimate right and that the Constitution allows them to protest. So they're going to protest till the Electoral Commission does the right thing. Until then, they are not going to stop the protest that the country.
The NDC MPs right here in Accra failed to deliver their petition to the EC chairperson. Was there an intention to present a petition to the EC region office, and were the protesters successful?
No,
Hello, Kofi?
Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, we lost you a bit. Yeah, please continue.
Hello?
Hello, Kofi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Dennis.
Yes, the line is much better now.
I'm saying that the Electoral Commission is located at the town in the constituency, and according to Judge Oparado, they had intentions to, petition the Electoral Commission officer there, but when they got there, they only met a police officer who was around to, securing the place. So they didn't meet the EC officials they intended to, petition. So the petition that they intended to, give to the EC wasn't given to the EC. So they proceeded to the Odumase Lorry Terminal, where they addressed the gathering of NDC supporters there.
Official there, he's our Eastern Region correspondent, giving us details of that protest that was held earlier today in that part of the country. Now, leading member of the NDC, Samuel Sapon, has condemned the conduct of some NDC supporters, especially in their last protest in Kumasi on Sunday. Mr. Sapon implored on the supporters to be law-abiding.
Yeah, there are so many options, and street protests is one of the options, just to create that sort of public awareness. Because even before we go to court, the public should know our intention and what we've realized so far. I mean, so far as the election is concerned. So we're trying to create that public awareness, and at the end of the day, if it becomes very, very patent that we go into court, we will go. And then, you see, as of now, NDC, we are the losers, so to say. But then if you continue to inflame passion by maybe insulting us that, oh, we've won, you fools, you can't do anything, and that sort of thing, I mean, things will escalate. So let cool heads prevail. At the end of the day, if it is the will of God that John Mahama should become the president, John Mahama will definitely come. If it's
Thank you for staying here on JoyNews today with me, Bernice Abubedulan. So still to come, 8 persons have sustained gunshot injuries at Asasawa. We've got details shortly. Thank you for staying here on News Today with me, Bernice Abubedulan. So now 8 people have sustained gunshot wounds in Asasawa in the Eastern Region after a robbery attack near the Asasawa Senior High School. Correspondent Maxwell Kudeko joins us with more. Maxwell, tell us how this robbery took place.
Well, the incident, according to the police, started between 7:45 thereabout to 8 p.m. Yesterday. 4 gunmen suspected to be from the Fulani extraction engaged in this act. They attacked a mobile money vendor and then went away with unspecified amount of money. In the process, they shot sporadically, and then standbys or people who were walking around were affected by the bullets. For now, 8 persons have been injured by bullets, and they are receiving treatment at the Asasawa Government Hospital. 1 is in critical condition, hence has been sent to the Kufudia Central Hospital, the regional hospital, for treatment. Police says that the 4 armed men escaped, but they are putting up their best to ensure that they bring them to book.
Tell us the nature of security in the Asasawa area. Is this a common issue for herdsmen to attack residents there?
It is not the norm, especially in the Asasawa township. It doesn't happen often. Mostly these attacks happen in the hinterland, a canteen area where traders go to trade around that area. But the Asasawa town is very unusual to record some of this broad day robbery within the area.
How are other residents reacting to this incident, Maxwell?
The residents around the vicinity continue to live in fear. They believe that the security must speed up their game and then start community patrols in order to ward off people who have intention or have intended to continue the robbery, especially in this Christmas season.
Maxwell Kudako there, Eastern Region correspondent, giving us details of that robbery attack leading to the injuring of 8 persons. Away from that, JoyNews in partnership with the road safety authorities waging a war against dangerous driving to ensure significant reduction in accidents on our roads. As part of activities lined up, JoyNews held its TV and radio morning shows at the Ashaman Lorry Terminal Tuesday morning and interacted with some drivers and passengers on what they can do to keep our roads safe.
What are some of the checks sometimes that as a passenger, things you look out for when it comes to your driver and what exactly is being done?
Oh, actually, we normally sometimes when the drivers are driving carelessly, sometimes when as you are a passenger, you are instructing her to do it, it will tell that you are not the one holding the steer. That's the only problem between the passenger and the drivers. But we pray that no driver wake up early morning and go to a road to have accidents. But we are praying that everything will be going accordingly.
Right. But you know it's your responsibility, it is your life, and it could be endangered by the driver. So we ought to be more forceful with some of these interactions. But as a passenger as well, you know, sometimes some passengers will end up shouting on the driver, speed up and all of that. Are you guilty of such sometimes? And how do you, remedy such situations?
Okay, actually, I don't support in that to a passenger to shout on driver that you have to go here, you have to go fast, or whatever it is. But no matter how the journey it is, when the driver have a focus driving, you can take us to safety.
Let's engage the final person from this car. It's actually full already. It's about to leave. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name?
My name is Augustine.
So, Augustine, as a passenger, what are you going to do to play your part to ensure that this car arrives and all of you are safe?
Actually, thank you so much. I need to be in a conversation with the driver. I need to encourage the driver not to go speedy. And also, we need to work with his road signs and also overtaking. When you are at the time, there is a time for you to do overtaking. When you're on the railway, you need to know when you to go overtaking, when you should slow down. Yeah.
And so we are just hoping that all of you will arrive alive. God be with all of you. We're going to come to the driver of this Benz bus. So let's start from here, interacting with him. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning.
What's your friend saying?
What's your friend, Alasan Dauda?
Alasan, which car have you here?
Pacho, I come say 8 years.
8 years? One accident pay?
Pacho, Debbie.
Teacher say we a chief driver. Which now so? Okay. And ansana obe two car na then na wo hwe.
Before me two car no, me bought me seat belt, na ma hwe me na ma two car no.
But say I make sure e wo mo say we nyam two year, but seat belt no eh.
I feel I me say I am sparky car no.
See I am sparky car no. Into we seat belt no. Passengers say papa no one body seat belt over body say here. But the problem is or passengers no almost seat belt no way.
Pacho afina be ya ma gas nibi.
Teacher say protect ho ba ho ban. Them passengers no there kojoto. Anyway, no what for passengers say we say kwan so over speeding and then na for what do you say then dey betumi aye na to say Christmas ba say am for whoopee. Then a driver or Shesenia, but me do Marco Jojo as some dream.
Siciano, I say, you be blow your idea. Tinaka say, you can normal speed. Say na, be beyond to me, Siana, be Bessia, put me control.
It is oh ye be na passengers no mo catch say oh driver susuko tobo kakra e ya utie.
Me pa cho amitie na ma limit kakra ma omo. Metimi bisa mo say ya na ana me increase.
Eya na we increase. Driver, final one. Eya mumu bi no I say mo be kwa mo say mo ko blue kiosk. E ko twa kakra bi etwasi. Eya no kra wo ye bisa.
Pa cho me nka ho.
Onka ho. Drivers ni bi wa ha mo yesa.
Ebinum ye.
Ebinum ye wo ho. We di no kra. Let's wrap up with just one passenger. Driver, we dey Israel. Just one passenger from here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What you say?
Sali Abudu.
Yo, Amudu, intino wa we passenger say no, then ya wo hwe what na car mu na mum, what na car no na nye no ano no. E say we na be sem ne a won so betimi akoduru be bia wo kɔ no. Then na wo hwe.
Most of the time, you know, me problem ni nkonja ya amu shisha wa city no mu no. Sa sprinter we no mu. Atans yet na ye kotojoe. Eta epia konja.
Isa space ni so.
I heard Benjamin Akakwo there interacting with a passenger who is concerned about the nature of seats in some of these sprinter buses. But Executive Director of the Road Safety Authority, May Obriyeboa, highlighted several acts of indiscipline on our roads that need to be addressed.
The indiscipline on our roads are many, from all stakeholders. Let me take, for example, the drivers. I'm not talking about commercial drivers alone. All types of drivers. In fact, there are some drivers that you look at the vehicle, the V8, the person in the his jacket or his suit, and you think that he should know better. But these people are the same people who are using, they are not using the main road, but rather the shoulders of the road, wanting to overtake vehicles, but using the shoulders of the road. These are some of the indiscipline we see on our road. People are still using their mobile phones, either they are texting or they are making calls. It's also a form of distraction and indiscipline. We get people getting to the traffic light and it is showing red, unless we want to say that most people are colorblind in our nation. Otherwise, red means that you should stop. But we still get drivers and also motorcycles crossing the red light. It's a form of indiscipline. And then we see clearly we are all going in a particular direction, and then another vehicle is coming in our direction, which is wrong. People are using the central space between two dual carriages, and then they are riding on it, especially the motorcycles. So these are some of the discipline we see on our roads. Then for the pedestrians, we still get people not using the footbridges. Sometimes I wonder, when we have cried so much for the footbridges and asking government to invest so much in the footbridges, still we do not want to use the footbridges. We want to go over the New Jersey barriers, which is so dangerous. A road that has 3 lanes on each side. So these are some of the indisciplined behaviors that we see on our roads.
Remember to always adhere to road safety directives so you can arrive alive. Now, the poor nature of the Gwolu Lower Road is affecting quality healthcare delivery in the Sisala West District. Pregnant women in labor sometimes lose their pregnancies due to these unmotorable roads. Health officers working at the district hospitals have had a tough time reaching work in time to save lives. The terrible and dusty road impacts practically every activity in the district. JoyNews' MFR Tiamo Eli caught up with the Sisala West District Director of Health Services, Cecilia Kariba, and had a chat with her about the effect of the poor state of the roads on healthcare delivery.
My name is Cecilia Kakarwa. I am the District Director of Health Services. Director, I've observed that you have a very terrible road, and I believe as a healthcare provider in this environment, definitely it will impact your work. Tell me, how has the experience been for both patients and even staff here at the Gwolu District Hospital?
Exactly. We have very bad roads within the district. All roads connecting to all communities are not in good, they are not more trouble. My staff, if they have to come for a meeting, instead of using 2 hours, it can take some of them 5 hours. During rainy season, some are not even able to come for trainings. If you refer a client from Golu here to go to Ewa, it takes about 4 hours in the public transport. And because of that, our motorbike, we have frequent breakdown. Districts that are endowed with roads, they give us motorbike within 2 years. Ours are at least broken down, but some have their motorbike even up to 5 years. Our clients, because of the road, they don't have means of transport to come to the hospital. Even the health facility, they are not able to go because the roads are very bad. People don't plow the roads. You can go out and stand by the roadside for about 2-3 hours. You won't get transport. So some of them, they refer them, and because they can't get transport to go, they refuse to go. They refer a woman with a neonate that is sick. The woman can sit by the road for 1 hour, and the neonate sick baby. I mean, within some time, some of them will go back into their rooms and the babies die. So for road challenges, it has been a big problem. I've been here for 5 years, and these roads have been like this.
Is there any specific example in the recent past that you can point to, you can mention that, and you can blame the road for? I mean, in terms of your client, the patients who are trying to seek health care here, but the road was on.
By August, September, we have a bridge between Bulu and then JFC. They were interested, they referred clients to come to Bulu Hospital, and they were not able to come. So they had to go back to JFC, sit there and wait for transport to pick a pregnant woman. To pick the pregnant. Before they got the pregnant woman delivered and poured a lot. Fortunately, they had to go and manage seriously. If not, that was a near-miss case.
You're watching News Today with me, Benis Abubedolansa. Coming up shortly in business, the cost of living is expected to go up in the coming days. I'll be telling you why. Do stay tuned in. And the cost of living is expected to go up in the coming days. This follows a marginal increase in the prices of petroleum products at the pumps. We have more details in the following Business Desk report.
The projected increase in the cost of living in the coming days has been influenced by the adjustment in prices of petroleum products over the weekend. This was after some of the major oil marketing companies that control a significant part of the market in the country reviewed their prices. Already, Shell and Total have upped their prices. When you drive to Shell service station, you're likely to pay for a liter of diesel and petrol at 4 cedis 95 pesos. About 5 pesos shy of hitting the 5 cedi mark. While for Total, 4 cedis 85 pesos is the selling price per liter of diesel and petrol. This should mean that a gallon of fuel at Shell will be going for 22 cedis 27 pesos. While that of Total, a gallon now should be sold at 21 cedis 82 pesos. So let's say that if you were doing 5 gallons every day for a week, your budget should be up about 106 cedis 35 pesos. The adjustment, we understand, has been influenced by the rising prices of finished petroleum products on the international market. This is due to the discovery of COVID-19 vaccine and how that could lead to the easing of restrictions, thereby leading to the opening up of some economies. The move is expected to impact the purchases of petroleum products. Locally, fuel plays a significant part in the cost component of businesses and manufacturing firms. Now, following this adjustment, most firms will see their cost of production going up, which they in turn will pass it on to the consumer, a move that will lead to prices of goods and services shooting up. For the structured or regulated driver unions, we can be assured for now that transport fares may not be going up anytime soon. However, the same cannot be said of taxis and other transport operators that are not regulated. This could also influence the cost of foodstuffs and other items sold by market women as they try to deal with the new cost of doing business because of the hike in fuel prices. With more than 100 oil marketing companies in Ghana, if the Big Five that controls more than 40% of the market indeed adjust their prices, then it looks like there is no escape for all of us, the consumers.
Now, Ghana is being touted as one of the best places for investors in 2021, according to Bloomberg News. This is based on some good and prudent returns expected for investors. George Wiafe has the rest of the story.
According to the report put together by the Bloomberg News, the move by these investors to shift to these frontier and emerging markets like Ghana has been influenced by the low rates being offered in their respective countries. From the report, it is clear that these investors believe that the associated risk with countries like Ghana will be compensated by the high returns that they are likely to get for their investments. The report also notes that despite the serious concerns raised about the economy and the projected challenges ahead, they don't see Ghana defaulting on these bonds, hence the reason why the country is still a preferred choice for them. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, recently at an event in Accra, noted that there has been a decline in foreigners' holdings on the country's bonds.
Indeed, the data shows that since 2018, non-resident holdings of our domestic debt have declined from 32% to 18% in 2020, even as government financing needs remain high. This can only be possible because the recapitalization of the banking sector has given the banks enough resources to allow them to substitute for the exit of non-resident investors in government bond instruments.
However, one is not sure that this will change going forward, as the COVID-19 will continue to hit hard in terms of returns for investors in those developed markets. Whilst others might be excited by this development, some are worried this because of how this could affect our economy badly going forward. This is the fact that no matter how cheap these funds might be, it may have some negative impact on local currency going forward. That is, anytime these investors may want to undertake some redemption. Some have argued that the recent stability of the Ghana cedi can be attributed to the significant reduction in number of investors that are holding on to the country's bonds.
That'll be all for business news. Coming up shortly, we've got sports, and the man who's got love for sports, Nathaniel Arthur, will join us shortly.
Welcome to the Sports Bulletin here on JoyNews today. Now, the Ghana FA's Ethics Committee has decided to ban Mr. Kofi Manu from taking part in all football-related activity for a period of 1 year for breaching Article 18 of the GFA Code of Ethics 2019. Now, Joy Sports' Asari Bediako has the rest of the story in the following report.
The GFA Ethics Committee at its meeting held on December 10, 2020 found Mr. Kofi Manu to have breached Article 18 of the GFA Code of Ethics, which imposes a duty to assist and cooperate truthfully, fully and in good faith with the Ethics Committee at all times, and not to take any action actually or apparently intended to obstruct, evade or otherwise interfere with any actual or potential Ethics Committee proceedings. The committee has commenced proceedings into Mr. Kofi Manu's alleged involvement in Tiger Eyes No. 12 documentary. Mr. Manu was served a notice in a letter dated November 23, 2020 to appear before the committee in person on Thursday, December 3, 2020. A copy of the Tiger Eyes video was added to the letter. However, Mr. Manu failed to appear before the GFA Ethics Committee. He had also failed to honor a previous invitation to appear before the Ethics Committee on November 19, 2020. In a letter dated December 1, 2020, Mr. Manu raised various issues which could have been resolved if he had attended the meeting scheduled for December 3, 2020. On the basis of his misconduct, the committee found Mr. Kofi Manu guilty of breaching Article 18, which imposes the following sanctions in case of violation: a fine of at least 5,000 Ghana cedis and a ban on taking part in any football-related activity for a maximum of 2 years.
Some more football, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko's official mouthpiece is the Kotoko Express newspaper. Now, the editor, Jerome Autry, says that the Kotoko management, led by Nana Yawan-Ponsa, have not done themselves any good by making lofty promises about the club in African competition. Now, at the start of the season, the chief executive officer of the club, Nana Yawan-Ponsa, promised to make the club the best in Africa during his 3-year tenure. According to Jerome Autry, the promise is impossible to be attained under the current circumstances.
We know that a lot of things are new at the club. We do not have to raise expectations to a certain level. And you alluded to it when you mentioned Africa. I mean, I'm not taking the CEO on, but I've had people who read some of the things I write will tell you that I've had a problem with creating the feeling that we are in Africa to achieve what we've not done before. It is not possible. I mean, sometimes we have to be real and make our fans believe that this is the situation and this is how we want to deal with it. But when you raise it to a certain level and you cannot get up to that level, the fans will come back telling you told us you will do it and you are not doing it. You know, so these are some of the things we have to look at. I mean, for 14 years, Kotoko have not been in the group stage of the Champions League. And if you are out there telling us that we are going to do what we have not done before, you know, they will look back and tell you, you promised it. So if you don't deliver, then you take whatever we are giving you.
Well, the World Football Governing Body FIFA has cancelled the Under-17 and Under-20 Women's World Cup competitions for 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. There's more in the following report.
In a letter sent to member associations through CAF on Monday, December 21, 2020, the World Football Governing Body confirmed the cancellation of 2 tournaments and the qualifiers. As a result of COVID-19, confederations face difficulties in completing the qualifiers phase. FIFA has decided to cancel both the U17 and U20 Women's World Cups 2020. The phases of all continental qualifiers are as well cancelled. Ghana's junior female teams, the Black Maidens U17 and the Black Princesses U20, have been preparing for these tournaments. The teams broke camp in October following a temporary suspension of the qualifiers.
Well, that's it for now, but of course we'll bring you some more at 2 p.m. when I bring you Sports Today. It's a 30-minute bulletin. Meanwhile, JoyNews Today continues and World News comes up next. My name is Nathaniel Atto and I have love for sport.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on JoyNews Today. Now, the sky was filled with joy as Joy 9 lessons and carols took flight Monday night at the Kokomimle offices of the multimedia group. Various groups ministered songs to commemorate an eventful year as it draws to a close. Here are highlights.
We thank you because from you all blessings flow. We thank you because in the midst of the tough times, in the midst of the rough times, you have still shown yourself as God and as Lord.
We want to wish you a joyous Christmas. Hey, we want to wish you a joyous Christmas. We want to wish you a joyous Christmas from the bottom of our heart.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares the Lord, and because you have done this and not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you.
Whichever you remember, let's do this together. Day 5. Sing it back in. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Young boy, go to me, sing on your living cats, yeah, go quiet to and never trade in
I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Away from that, several big names in the African entertainment and business industries converged at the launch of Afro Beverages, a pan-African alcoholic drink which has been described by many as unapologetically African. Nigerian international acclaimed musician Peter Okoye, formerly of P-Square fame, and some Ghanaian celebrities, Sarkodie Sinaso, Marley Gavo, and others were all in attendance. Here are highlights.
Are you ready?
I'm African, I'm Ghanaian, I like everything Afro. Even my outfit is Afro, so I think I'm in love with this drink because I've tried it and it's lovely. It's lovely.
We in Ghana, we have something that could go all over the world, and we don't want to be ashamed to say that it came from Akatashi. It's something that we made ourselves. So when that pitch was made to me, to be honest, I'm completely all about owning who we are. So the way you said Bishara and everything, the way we did bring the application and everything. So this is why we're here. So everyone, let's own who we are. For tonight, let's drop the Hennessy, let's drop the vodka, let's drop everything else, and let's drink some apple.
So, like I said, there's a party ongoing, and everybody that matters in entertainment is here at Kozo. Of course, we have one of the biggest acts here, and I'm pleased to be talking to the man Sako there, who is here to have fun as well. So far, what have you seen?
It's classy, very beautiful, well organized. This is a vibe. I love it.
Everybody gets you always to follow.
From that, at the same event, JoyNews caught up with multiple award-winning musician Sarkodie and singer Sinoso, who shared with us how their year has been.
Like everyone, I think it's been a roller coaster. It's been the craziest year of my life. I've learned so much. I've cried. I've had high times, but I think an all-round, very thought-provoking year for me. But it was okay. I mean, I just released a song a couple of days ago, and it's doing really well. It's called Die For You, so you guys should check it out. It's a really great song.
I think it's been more about work. It's been like what everybody else has experienced the year. It's been a bit down, but I think I spent a lot of time with family, and that's also necessary. So yeah, it's been a calm year. We are hoping to have a good year the next year. Yeah, so it's been good.
On that note, we end showbiz here on JoyNews today. We'll be back tomorrow. Over to you, Benis.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Becky. I'm throwing an invitation to you to join the multimedia choir. Are you up for it?
Really? Yeah. I'll bring my vibe.
What part do you sing? Soprano, alto?
Soprano. Let me just do soprano.
You do soprano.
You want me to do
we
something
wish you
small for you?
a Merry Christmas.
We wish you.
All right, on that note, we end this edition of JoyNews today. Really appreciate your company. My entire team and myself wish you the very best of the rest of the day. Do stay with us. We are home of fearless, independent and credible journalism. Up next, it's The Marketplace. I'm Benis Abubedulansa, and she is always Becky.